Man, if you think modern sports cars have it all figured out, buckle up, because I am about to blow your mind with 10 Toyota Celicas that make a 2025 supercar blush, especially one gem so wild. It'll leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about horsepower. Stay tuned, cause I'm saving the craziest for last. This is Garticler, the channel where we don't just talk cars, we live them, breathe them, and dream about them. So, let's hit the road and dive into why these Celicas, some old enough to have seen Nirvana live, still run circles around the shiny new toys of today. Picture this, it's 1970, and Toyota drops the first Celica, a scrappy little coupe that was basically Japan's answer to the Mustang. That first gen, the A20, had a 1.9-liter four-banger with barely 90 horses, but man, it was a vibe. It was about raw power, it was about tossing that lightweight body through corners like you, re-dancing with the road. Compared to a 2025 Mazda MX-5, the Celicas got that same raw, unfiltered soul. No traction control nonsense, just you and the wheel. Owners back then would swap in a hotter cam, stiffen the suspension, and suddenly, you're keeping up with cars twice the price. That's the magic of affordable fun that felt like $1 million. Fast forward to the 80s, and the second-gen Celica, the A40, steps up. This thing was boxy, bold, like it just rolled out of a John Hughes movie. The 2.4-liter 22R engine gave it enough grunt to hustle, and it still had that rear-wheel drive purity. You know what's nuts? A buddy of mine had one with a swapped-in for a GE from a later Mr. 2, and it screamed like a banshee. Compare that to a 2025 Subaru BRZ. Sure, the BRZ's got more tech, but the Celica's got character that doesn't come with a touchscreen. It's like choosing between a craft beer and some mass-produced light lager. You feel me? Now, let's talk about the third gen, the A60 from '82. This is where Toyota started getting serious. Pop-up headlights, sleek lines, and a 2.8-liter inline-six in the Supra's cousin. The Celica XX, that thing was a highway cruiser with a side of rally grit. I swear, driving one feels like you're in a Group B highlight reel, minus the death-defying jumps. Stack it against a 2025 Nissan Z, and yeah, the Z's got more power, but the Celica's analog soul makes you feel every gear shift in your bones. Modern cars are so polished, they sometimes forget how to be raw. By the mid-80s, the 4th-gen T160 Celica hits, and oh boy, this is where things get spicy. The GT4, or ST165, brought all-wheel drive and a turbocharged 3S GTE engine to the party. We're talking 190 horsepower in 86, nothing to sneeze at when you ripping through gravel like at SAWRC stage. This thing was a rally monster, and it still holds up. A 2025 GR Corolla might have more tech, but the ST165's pure mechanical fury. It's like comparing a punk rock show to a DJ set. One's got soul, the other's got algorithms. The 5th-gen T180, especially the 90 ST185 GT4, is where Toyota went full beast mode. This Celica wasn't just a car. It was a middle finger to anyone who thought Japanese cars couldn't hang with the big dogs. With 200 horses and that AWD grip, it was tearing up rally stages while your neighbor S Civic was still figuring out how to parallel park. I saw one at a car meet last year, lowered with a custom exhaust that sounded like Thor's hammer. Compared to a 2025 ADTT, the TT's got polish, but the Celica's got that raw, untamed edge that makes you want to drive it till the tank's dry. Then comes the 6th-gen T200, the ST205 GT4. This is the one that makes gearheads weak in the knees. That 3S GTE was cranking out 255 horsepower in some markets, and it had suspension geometry that made corners beg for mercy. Toyota was basically building a street-legal rally car. You know what's wild? The ST205 could still embarrass a 2025 Ford Mustang Mach-1 on a twisty back road. Sure, the Mustang's got more grunt, but the Celica's lighter, nimbler, and doesn't need 500 horsepower to make you grin like an idiot. The 7th-gen T230, from '99 to '06, is where things got polarizing. It went front-wheel drive, and purists cried into their oil cans. But hear me out, the GTS, with the 1.8-liter 2ZZGE engine and that Yamaha-tuned head. It revved to 8,000 RPM like a superbike. I drove one last summer, and it felt like a go-kart with a license plate. Stack it against a 2025 Honda Civic Type R, and yeah, the Type R's got more power. But the Celica's got this lightweight flingable charm that's just chef's kiss. Let's not sleep on the Celica All-Track Turbo from the early 90s, another T180 gem. This thing was a unicorn in the States, with only a few thousand made. It had that same 200-horse 3S GTE as the ST185, but was tuned for American roads. I knew a guy who swapped in a bigger turbo and was pushing 300 horses on a car that weighed less than a modern compact, compared to a 2025 VW Golf R. The Golf's got tech, but the All-Track's got that renegade spirit, like it's ready to ditch the pavement and hit a rally stage. Now, The convertible Celicas, especially the 90s T180, these weren't just hairdresser cars. Don't let that stereotype fool ya. The 2.2-liter 5 SFA wasn't a screamer, but with the top down, wind in your hair, it was pure freedom. A 2025 BMW Z4 might be faster, but it's also twice the price and feels like it's trying too hard. The Celica convertible was about cruising, not flexing. Alright, here's the hidden gem. I promise, the 1991 Celica Speedster concept. This one, built by American Sunroof Corporation, was a T180 all-track with the roof chopped off and a windshield so low you'd need goggles to drive it. It was Toyota saying, what if we made a Celica that looked like a Porsche Speedster, but could still rip through a rally stage? Only one was ever built, shown at the '91 Detroit Auto Show, and it vanished into obscurity. If you find it, you've found Automotive Atlantis. Compared to any 2025 sports car, it's a reminder that sometimes, the wildest ideas are the ones that stick with you. So, why do these Celicas still outshine the high-tech, overpriced sports cars of 2025? Because they were built for drivers, not data. They didn't need adaptive cruise control or a 12-inch infotainment screen to make your heart race. They were about the feel of the wheel, the snick of a manual gearbox, the roar of a turbo spooling up. Toyota's Gazoo Racing is teasing a new Celica for 2027, maybe with a 400-horse turbo and a WD. Sounds badass, but will it have the soul of these classics? That's the question. Thanks for riding along, gearheads. If you've got a Celica story, drop it in the comments. I want hear about that time you outran a Mustang or drifted a corner in your GT4. Hit that subscribe button if you're as obsessed with cars as I am, and share this with your crew. Here's the big thought to leave you with. In a world of electric crossovers and self-driving pods, will we ever see cars with this much heart again? Stay revved, and I'll catch you on the next one.